We have a very special guest on the line this morning. Principal Philip Nash is joining us from Yarralunga Valley Christian School. Philip, good morning to you, mate.
Good morning, Mick.
Great to have you on board. Now, look, it's been just over a year, I think, now since we chatted last time. And
yes, that's right.
Some big things have taken place down that way as well. Can you give us a little bit of insight on what's happening with Yarralunga Valley Christian School?
Yes, certainly. So last year when we talked, we were preparing to open, which we did at the beginning of the year this year. Mm-hmm. We had 10 students enrolled kindergarten to year 2, and it has gone much better even than we anticipated. It's gone really well. Everyone's settled in. The kids are doing really well. And we're very happy with how it's going. So
awesome.
It's been one of those success stories, if you like, which we can celebrate.
Yeah, that is so good. Now, of course, the school was opened, I guess, in response really to, the kids who are on the autism spectrum. And we do have quite a few of those in the education system. Of course, there has been, there can be some issues, behavioural issues, and I guess learning abilities and different things like that. So again, the school has been open to cater for those kids, hasn't it? So, what sort of years are we looking at the moment with the kickoff of the school, and how are the kids sort of settling in, and how are things rolling along down there?
Yeah, well, we are a school set up for children on the autism spectrum, and you have to have professional assessment of that to come into the school. So we've tried to be very specific about who we're catering for, and the motivation for us came from actually 3 students that were in Greenpoint Christian College, because Yarralunga is based on the Greenpoint College site. And those students were really struggling in the mainstream, even though they were getting lots of support. Mm-hmm. And one of them in particular was a young boy called Leo. And Leo couldn't even last the whole day at school. He could do an hour or 2, and then things would just fall apart for him. So he was having to go home by 1 o'clock every day, sometimes earlier, often wasn't here. And that was a motivation for us to say we need an environment, especially for children like this, where they can really have their needs catered to. And so Leo is in Yarralunga Valley Christian School, and he comes to school virtually every day unless he's unwell. He stays all day. He's much calmer, he's much more regulated, and he's learning, he's beginning to read, he knows his numbers, he's enjoying his activities, and he's a much happier little boy than he was in the last couple of years. And it's just that in a smaller environment with specialist teachers and activities directed towards his needs, he's being able to begin to really move ahead in his learning. And while life will always be a struggle for kids like Leo, he's now going to be able to be equipped to cope with life and to do something with his life, and that was really our goal. And so he was a motivator for us, and he's certainly one of our success stories. So we're kindergarten to year 2 this year, and we're moving ahead to year 3 and 4 next year, and we'll just keep adding on stages as we go, as far as we need to go to take the kids that we've got through to whatever's appropriate for them. So I think we'll eventually end up in high school, and we'll see how far we go with that. But we've been very happy with the way the kids have settled in and progressed this year.
That is so amazing. I'd love to hear testimonies like that, Philip. That is great. And look, and all credit to you guys down there as well. Doing a fantastic job. What sort of sizes are we looking at with the classes? And of course, in a lot of the bigger schools, you tend to have, quite a few students for only the one teacher, maybe a teacher's aide. How are things at Yarralunga Valley Christian?
As we go forward, we're not going to have classes probably any bigger than 6 to 8 students. And that's because of the needs that they have, and so the teacher and the teacher's aide can really cater to those. So at the moment we have 9 students, and we have 2 teachers and 2 teacher aides that help out. So there's always a very high ratio of teachers and aides to students because of their needs, and they need a lot of one-on-one support. So our class sizes will never be bigger than somewhere between 6 and 8 will be the norm as we move forward.
Yeah. Now, you've also got some news on registration. Now, that's been extended for Kindy to Year 2 until the end of, I believe, 2027. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah. So what happens with registration is you get permission to open as a school, and then the government comes back and has a look at how you're doing, and if you're doing okay, and they do that within the first sort of few months of operation, then they'll actually grant you 5 years of registration for that stage. So we've got that for Kindy to Year 2, and then every time we add on a stage, so next year, Year 3 and 4, we have permission to move to Year 3 and 4. Then they'll come back and have a look at how we're doing in Year 3 and 4, and if everything's okay, they'll also give us 5 years of registration of that. If there's any issues, if they think we're not doing a good enough job, we haven't got everything lined up, then they might just give us another year or two and come back and have another look. But obviously we work hard to make sure that we do everything right and we get the full period.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I think, obviously there's a lot of prayer has gone into this, and there are a lot of people out there, a lot of parents in particular, with kids who are somewhere on the autism spectrum. And I'm not sure whether it just seems to be a more common thing these days, or than it has been in the past, or maybe we've just reached a point now where we've been able to diagnose this a lot better. Do you think that is the case?
Yeah, well, I think there's two things, Mick. I think we are recognising this more. We know much more about autism, and so we're able to recognise certain traits or characteristics or behaviours, and that allows us then to help that person, manage that. But I think from a school point of view, all schools will tell you that they believe there is an increase in the number of children who are suffering from autism, and nobody knows the reason for that.
Yep.
There are various theories about it, but nobody can really pinpoint what causes autism or why a child might be on the spectrum. So there does seem to be an increase, but I think part of that is a greater understanding and a recognition that maybe in the past we had a friend, or we had a school friend who was a bit different. We just thought, they're a bit different. Now we would be able to recognise, they're on the spectrum. People tell us that we're all on the spectrum somewhere, Mick.
Right.
Just depends where on the
scale. All the time.
Yeah, that's right. But people tell me I'm on the spectrum, so they're probably right.
Yeah, there you go. So, look, Philip, how can, obviously the parents and guardians and everything else listening in this morning, maybe who have kids at a young age at the moment, between that sort of Kindy, Year 2, Year 3, Year 4 kind of age, wondering how would I be able to maybe get my kids into the school? What sort of the process look like to be able to do that?
They can go to the website. So we have a website for Yatalunga Valley Christian School, and they'll find a phone number there. They can call that. There's application forms on the website as well. So if they want to complete an application form and send it through, and our registrar will be in touch with them and then arrange an interview. I'm the executive principal of Yatalunga. We have another lady who's the sort of day-to-day principal.
Yep.
She will be in touch. They'll have an interview. If they're at preschool, we'll often go out and have a look at them in their preschool and how they're getting on, what they can do, what they can't do, trying to build up a picture of the needs of the child so
Sure.
that if we offer a place, we know that we can really support them and help them. So, go to the website, call in and have a chat if you'd like to ask some questions, or complete the application form. It's an online form, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome. Such a great thing that you guys have got going down there, Philip. It's just amazing to hear what is happening with Yatalunga Valley Christian School, and of course the amazing students down there, and what you guys are doing with everybody on the autism spectrum. Now, of course, before you mentioned very briefly as well, which I was so happy to hear, and I'm sure my boss and everybody, all the management, will be very happy to hear this one. You also had a student who is at the school now through, I think, what you may have been talking about last time you were here on Rhema.
So when we had a chat last year, around about a year ago,
Yep.
and as a result of that, we had some inquiries and we had an enrolment from that. So we were delighted with that. So thanks to the people who heard that and passed it on. I think it came via a grandma, actually, who heard the broadcast and acted. So we have places available, and anyone listening today, if you know someone, you have a neighbour, a friend, a family member talk to them about it. We'd love to hear from them and see whether we can help.
Awesome. Philip, thank you so much for your time this morning, mate. I know you must be a very, very busy man, being in the position that you're in, and of course, being at 20 after 8, you're already in the office now, so you'll be getting prepared to kick the day off into full swing. So again, thank you so much, mate. We'll definitely be talking to you probably again next year at some point, just to see how things are progressing. Great. Because we want to keep up to date with you guys, because we want to get behind you as much as we possibly can here at the station. We just believe in what you're doing down there. You're doing a great job already.
Thanks very much.
No problems.
Appreciate it very much, and thanks to all the listeners who pray for us and support us. We need it, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Mate, you hold the line there. I will be back to you very, very shortly, of course. That was Philip Nash there from Yadalunga Valley Christian School. And, of course, if you've got a child who is on the autism spectrum, somewhere between kindergarten, year 2, and into year 3 and year 4, you can jump onto the website there. There are numbers for you to call, and, of course, you can start the process of maybe getting your little one into that fantastic school. It is Rhema Brekkie on your Friday morning.